Based on the number of women packed into the bar and restaurant area, my sister had thought right. Probably every woman over the age of 21 in a 30-mile radius of Rains was here. Based on the way they were waving dollar bills, I doubted the fire department could pry them out the door. Speaking of the fire department, the music changed and a new dancer came onto the small stage in costume fire gear. I wondered what was going to stay on besides the plastic red hat on his head. Fortunately, the guy was no one I knew. Again, bleach. Grabbing a bar rag, Chris wiped his hands and tossed it down. "Why did Julia text me to show up?" I asked. "I don't need to see this." I pointed in the general direction of the striptease. With one hand holding the crown of my cowboy hat against my thigh, I rubbed a hand over my eyes with the other. After dealing with a mind-changing client and a late roofer, I just wanted an ice-cold soda and a hot shower. Running my own construction and remodeling business was supposed to be less stressful than riding on the back of a bull. That was a total lie. "You're not here for the men, but for the women," Julia said from behind me. I turned on my booted heel at the sound of her voice. She angled her head to the side so I could kiss her cheek like I usually did. But instead, I put my palm to her forehead and gave her a gentle push. Being a foot shorter than me and 100 pounds lighter, it was easy to mess with her. The dork. "Women. Since when do I need help with women?" I asked, leaning back against the bar so I faced her. Not the guy with only a fireman's hat covering his fireman's hat. Shit. Julia rolled her eyes. While the youngest of the four of us, she'd taken it on herself as a mission to see all of her brothers married. All three of us, even when she herself was still single. But a male review was an interesting twist. She grabbed my left hand, held it up. "Since there's no ring on here." Glancing over her shoulder, she looked to Jed. "And none on his finger either. I thought I'd bring the ladies to you." "Why am I here and not Tucker or Gus? They're just as single as me." I grumbled, moving out of the way for one of the bartenders to grab something from a mini fridge behind me. "Because your brothers were smart enough to find out about ladies' night before they got here. Tucker said, and I quote, 'No fucking way.'" Sounded like Tucker, although he always went for the wild ones and liked to tame them with his friend. He'd think this was like shooting fish in a barrel to find a woman, at least for a romp in the hay, or a quick fuck in the bathroom. And these women were primed for dick, especially the one who just tossed her panties at the feet of the latest dancer. They were more eager than the buckle bunnies following the rodeo circuit, and I knew those ladies well, and their panties too. And Gus? Said he had a date. You believe him. I didn't. Gus didn't date. He fucked. And not alone. To say the Duke boys liked to share was an understatement. Each of us planned to claim a woman with others. Me, I was going to find a woman with Jed. We'd ruin her for all other men, mark her with our cum and make her ours. Yeah, mine and Jed's. We'd shared everything since we were 5. Claiming a woman together just made complete sense. Julia shrugged. 1 out of 3 of you showing up is pretty decent odds. I sighed. "So you want me to do what exactly?" I paused, held up my hand. "Wait, you're not expecting me, either of us, to—" I thumbed over my shoulder toward the stage. She eyed me up and down, took in my black t-shirt, faded jeans, and boots. Typical clothes for a day on the job. "Now that you mention it, got a hard hat in your truck? One of those neon safety vests?" "No way." I took one step toward the exit, and she put a hand on my chest. Jed just glanced at us as he scooped ice into a glass and laughed. "I was kidding," she shouted over the beat of a new song blasting from the speakers, then grinned. "I have no idea how you walk around with such a big ego. The weight of it must be oppressive." Ego? Hell no. It was the size of my balls. They were impressive, and right about now filled with too much cum. It had been too long since I'd fucked, and I ached to feel the right woman until I was empty.